Welcome to FitLife Heroes. My name is Dhaval Bhadeshiya. I'm a certified personal trainer and a nutritionist, and my goal is to make sure that every fitness professional in India is successful. The second thing I want is every Indian should get access to the best of fitness facilities and trainers. So this is a platform where I talk to best of fitness professionals from Bangalore and in India to help you with your health and fitness. These guys are not just super fit themselves, but they've helped thousands of people become healthier, fitter and stronger. So if you are a fitness professional who is looking for help with respect to your career, this is for you. And if you are a fitness enthusiast or somebody who is just starting your journey into health and fitness, this is definitely for you, because this is where you get the real answers to the real situation, real life and real tips and tricks to help you get better and fitter. Welcome to the first episode of 2020. Today's guest is the most energetic, multi-talented and most influential fitness professionals in Bangalore. He has changed the face of Bangalore's fitness industry by introducing unique group classes formats. His certifications list is so long that I can't even remember it. TRX, Zumba, Les Mills body pump, RPM, body combat, you name it and he has it. He is a writer, speaker, national level basketball player, dancer, choreographer, personal trainer, group exercise instructor, manager, entrepreneur and co-founder of Triofit. Triofit is a company which changed the way group classes are conducted and managed across the board. Hundreds of trainers and coaches in Bangalore and in India are a result of his training, his mentorship and the coaching that he provided to them. He is a dog lover, a curious optimist and the daddy of Bangalore's fitness. He is inspiration to thousands of people around, a true blue Bangalore boy. He is none other than our own Milin Mathew. Hey Milin, thank you for taking the time out and welcome to the show.
It's always a pleasure, and it's really nice that you're taking this initiative where we're getting different people of their own and coming and speaking of their expertise. It's awesome. I'm sure it's going to add a lot of value to people.
Oh, thank you. So that's what this show is all about. We want to give role models to people. We want to give coaches and trainers to people so that they can look up to them. They know what is real, because mainstream media, we don't have too many things which come out which is real. So these are real people with real lives, real struggle, and that's what we want to show people, what it takes to be fit and to make people fit.
Awesome.
So let's start with your journey. So Milin Mathew, the man that we know who's changed thousands of lives by making people fit, who's coached hundreds of trainers and given us so many successful trainers. How did Milin Mathew become a trainer? How did he come into fitness industry?
This is never a plan. As in, like even now when we are so advanced in terms of people knowing about fitness and how important it is, a lot of gyms cropping up, even now nobody plans to be into a fitness career, right?
Okay.
So imagine when I started around 18 years back, this was definitely not an option, nor did in my school days, colleges I thought I'm going to be. So this has been a pure serendipity where I found this by luck, and it's giving me happiness. So I would say I just got lucky there. It was my then girlfriend who introduced me to fitness, but fitness as such, I was always active. I was always into sports, I was always into dance. So that has always kept me active. So being active or being physically fit was not an issue. But choosing as a career was never in my frame. But it's really cool. I'm happy here.
Oh, we are happy that you are here because we know the kind of value that you've added to the industry, to the people. So thank you, whatever that accident was, and thank you to that then girlfriend who brought you to us. So,
sure, I always thank her.
So if she is watching, we're thanking you here. So now, see, this journey has been 17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a short journey by any stretch of imagination, and I'm sure you've had your challenges. And what are some of the challenges that you faced and something that you want to share with us?
So you rightly said 17 is a big time frame that for us. So there have been different challenges depending on what role I was playing. As an instructor, I have my own challenges, as a trainer, as a personal trainer, as a manager, as a coach, and also as an entrepreneur. So each phase has its own biggest challenge, but there's one challenge which has always been there then, and there's always been there now, and that is something which always fears me when I think back. That is, after my certifications, what do I do?
Okay.
I told you, I jumped into this fitness industry by pure luck. So there was no career which was like, clearly written, I know what I'm going to do kind of so there was no goal. I did my certifications. Now I'm like, certification in my hand, time invested, money invested, what do I do? And that's been the biggest fear then. And I also see trainers and instructors and anybody who's getting fitness professionals, I see that even now. They don't know what to do after the certifications. That's been my biggest challenge when I did, because I had to literally meet different people, and my biggest pain point was the security guards, because those days, the options were either in the health clubs or corporates or apartments, right? So in apartment, entry is the biggest challenge, where the security guard used to be the Rottweilers of that place. They never allow you. So the kind of skill that you need to negotiate with them, the kind of skill that you need to cajole them is on a different level. And sometimes speaking Hindi is becoming a challenge for me there. So that was more difficult than actually cracking the deal after meeting the president of the association.
Okay.
I think that's the most fearful point. But otherwise, to the main point being, what do you do after certification? That's the biggest question. Yeah, and that is something which Triofit is slowly working towards in 2020. So hopefully that should work well.
Okay, so as you rightly said, so when you do the certification, it's the first step that anybody takes, and all we see is first 100 meters from that distance, that okay, this is what I have to do today, 3 months or 1 month based on what kind of certification you have, I'm going to finish it. And mostly people don't know what to do after it, and it's natural, and it happens with everybody. So it happens with me, it has happened with you, and I'm glad that you have something in store to help people once they are certified. So we'll talk about that later. Now coming back to your challenges, I think security guards being the biggest challenge is what I get.
Yeah.
Now see, you've not been just a trainer. You've been a trainer, you started as a trainer, but then as a manager, as an entrepreneur who's working in this industry for 6 years. So we know this is not an organized sector, and running a company in an unorganized sector for 6 years is again a huge challenge in itself, the amount of money and time investment. So what has been your biggest challenge as an entrepreneur who runs Triofit?
I think whatever the time frame we're giving for this video or the podcast, I don't think it'll be enough. The kind of challenge. Every day you wake up in the morning and there is some or the other challenge waiting for you ahead, right? So that's pretty much our life is. You do from sweeping the floor to running to the client and striking the deal. You do everything. Cooking sometimes, making coffee, your own coffee. So everything is done. Sometimes the challenging, the things that's being thrown at you gets overwhelming. Sometimes you're a solopreneur. Sometimes you have a partner along with you. But having a partner has been a boon to us, because I could bounce it off to my partner and he could bounce it off to me. But it's a relationship, right? It's human. It's the kind of thresholds that we have, the kind of challenges that has been thrown, money coming in, going out, clients coming in, going out, instructors. So it's a big turmoil sometimes. So there were times where we're just sitting in the boardroom and like, what do we do now? Right? We have even gone extremes. I think it is in 2018 or 2017, we were like, enough is enough. I was like frustrated. I'm like telling Pratik, I'm done with this. I want to move ahead. Pratik is like, I'm also done with it. So, we have reached that stage as well. So we sat down and said, hey, listen, let's give another 12 more months. Let's see what we're going to do, where we're going to reach. Post that, we'll make a decision. And then we're still here, 2020, and Triofit is still together.
Okay. So delaying the gratification, delaying the decision sometimes also helps.
It does help. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so now we know Milin Mathew for the energy that he brings on the table. Wherever he is, either talking to me right now, on the stage, training, on the stage, talking to other trainers. Where does Milin Mathew get all this energy from? Where does this motivation and energy come for you?
For me, I think energy or motivation, I think I would divide it into two segments.
Mm-hmm.
The first segment, This is something which has come from my father. Right, he passed away when I was 10 years old, but whatever he's taught me in that 10 years has been a pretty strong foundation that has been for me. So he was a man who always said family is first. And not many know, but if you ask me, if you actually get into my life and see how I live, I'm more like a family guy. Right, so for me, my first inspiration is always from the family. What my dad has done, because he's come down to Bangalore from his native when he was just 7 or 8 years old. He's been on the streets. He didn't have money to have food, so he used to drink water. That's the kind of struggle that he's come to where he started off. And then my dad passed away when I was 10 years old. Then I see my mom's strength coming in, right? A single woman, a single mother. She's just come from her village, so there's no education where she can go for a job. So how she brought me and my sister up, and looking at that on a day-to-day basis, the struggle she's had, and that's inspired me a lot. Right? And then I have my wife Shruti, who's helped me tremendously. She's been my biggest support, my biggest inspiration. There was a time around 2.5, 3 years back, I was really down with, I can almost call it a depression. I was like not going out, not meeting people. My self-esteem was really low. It was she who actually picked me up. So I think my first level of energy, inspiration, motivation, everything comes from my family. If that is not right, for me nothing else is good enough. So for me that is core. So the second segment where I look is how am I able to give that to people? Okay. Right? How do you pass on to that to people? So that comes through my job, that is fitness, either through motivating people to get fitter, feel more confident, feel good about themselves and those kind of stuff. So that is the second. When I see that happening, when I see people feel that I'm able to inspire them, it's like a kind of give and take. So for me, that's what motivates me, that keeps me on.
Okay, so two things that you talked about. One, the real strength comes from the family, and the second part you talked about is giving and helping people kind of gives you more and a lot of energy. Is this what you talked about?
Yeah, because I always tell this to people, what you have today was never yours, right? The same thing with energy, because energy is being passed on from somebody or from food. So you have no right to keep it within yourself. You have to give that energy back. If it's knowledge, what you learned today is not something which you knew yesterday. So you learn that and pass it on to people. The more you give is where the more you get. If you want to look at it in a selfish manner, you could see, because I want to get more, you start giving more. At least end of the day, the world is getting a better place, right? It's becoming a better place because there are more people giving.
Sure.
So it's always give. It is never yours, and you have no right to keep it.
Sure, absolutely. So thank you. So on this point about giving and telling people that energy was never yours and you should not keep it, I have a proof. Okay, I have a WhatsApp message from you, which is about 2 years old or so, where you talked to me about the same thing.
Okay.
So this is something I can show to people that 2 years back also you were talking the same thing.
I still don't know what I've typed, but I'm assuming I should have spoken something.
I can show it to you.
Okay.
And the second thing, which was a bigger highlight, is every time I've read a story or a biography of a successful person who's made the difference in the world, they have a huge support of their family. Backing, the family supports them, and they have a very strong support system. So I think two of these things are something which is an aha moment, that okay, everybody that I see around who's doing good job, helping people, has a very strong base at home, and that's where they're able to go out and help others. So
true, because I always tell people the same thing, that a relationship is more like a garden, right? It's up to you what you want to grow there. And the beauty about the garden is, if you want it to be let's say it's a rose flower, if you want the flower to be pretty and healthy, you have to work on it. Okay. Right? And the things when you don't work is when it grows a weed. Okay. So you need to keep weeding off. So it's actually two-way work. One is you're removing the weed constantly, and the second thing is you're always nourishing the plant. So relationship, family is always like a garden. So you need to keep taking care of that.
So thank you for that. Now, moving on to the next question I have for you is, see, a lot of people have you as a role model. Okay, I'm not sure you know it or you don't, but I want to know, who is your role model? Who does Milin Mathew look up to?
For me, I don't have a specific person as a role model, because each one of us have something good in them. So I'm a guy who actually meets somebody, talk to people, I'd spend time with them, and then I try and take one or two good things. If not anything, at least one I take that person. And it need not be, it could be a 6-year-old, could be 60 years old, could be a housekeeping boy who is doing his work diligently, clocking in, clocking out, but making sure he's working hard on those 8 hours. And that's something which inspires me. So everybody teaches you something in life. If you're lost somewhere, it's taught you something. If you're won somewhere, it's, you learn something. So inspiration is everywhere. And there's something that I learned from you is that don't wait. You're a person who is a go-getter, right? And that is something which is inspiring. And that is something which I definitely have. When I think about you, that is what comes to my mind.
Thank you.
So everybody is a teacher. You need to be open to learn. You need to be a student. If you're not a student, if you're not teachable, if you're not coachable, is when the trouble starts.
Alright Milin, so now let's talk about New Year. This is start of 2020 and a lot of people have fitness as part of their New Year's resolution. So what are some of the tips or something that you want to share with them so that this year doesn't become another year where they just don't stick to their resolution? Something that they can gain from this and get fitter this year.
We as humans are blessed by our upper authority with two things. One is something which is 6 feet, that's your body, that's a physical body, and the other one is that is just 6 inch, and that's right between your ears, and that's your brain, your mind, right? So if you ask me personally, get your mind fit first, because everything you decide with your mind is what follows. If you want to go somewhere, you first decide, and that happens in your mind. If you want to do something, first you decide and then you do. So it's always a mind who leads us to anything and everything you want to go or you don't want to go. That depends on a trained mind or an untrained mind. Okay. So get your mind fit first in terms of have a clear goal. Okay. Have a clarity in terms of how do I reach that goal. If that is requiring you to do something for an hour every day, then just discipline yourself to do that 1 hour, because that's everything to do with your mind. I have something called a magic mushroom moments which I have, where I know in terms of if I want to, let's say if I want to learn about a certain subject, so then I dedicate in terms of learning 1 article a day about that subject, watch 1 video a day about that subject. It could be together where I spend 1 hour and I finish that, or if you have time crunch, you spend half an hour maybe in the afternoons, mornings, half an hour in the evenings whenever you get time. But make sure that 1 article you read and 1 video you watch about that subject. Okay. So imagine that happens on a daily basis. End of the month, you have 30 articles that you've read and 30 videos that you heard. You're hearing from different people, there's different view. So over a period of time, you start having certain opinion about that subject, and then you become an expert in that subject. And that could be done with anything. Okay. If it is skill related, every hour you do something on that, or if you use every half an hour you do, every day. And that's what you need to do. So that's how I keep my mind fit. I always keep, I keep it active by stimulating it, either through challenges or problem solving, or as a day-to-day as an entrepreneur, you have anyway a lot of things coming your way, right? So you're always improvising on things. So that's your mind, 6 inches. Then you have your 6 feet, which is the easiest to do. All you have to do is turn up and be physically active. I don't think there's any explanation required for that. You need to be physically active for that. Even if it is 1 hour a day, only 3 times a week, that's fine. If it's 1 hour a day, 2 times a week, that's fine. Okay. Even if it's 1 hour a day, once a week, even that's fine. But then get moving. So don't wait for miracles to happen. There's no God, there's no Bhagwan who's going to come and say, hey, listen, you get this, and when you wake up, you have it. It doesn't happen. It is over a period of time, and you need to keep moving. So there's a mind fit and there's physically fit. These are the two things that needs to go together. So for me, that's big, which I would definitely tell.
Yeah. So with respect to the thing that you highlighted over here, even if it's 1 hour a week, or if it's 3 hours a week, or it could be 6 hours a week, anything is fine. So it does not really need to be 3 body pumps, 3 body combats and 3 boot camps in a week.
Forget all that. Let's start. The whole idea is about starting. So if you want to summarize the whole thing in one sentence, 1 is better than none.
Okay.
Right? If you can remember that phrase throughout, 1 is better than none, you know that you're going. There's another way you can make sure that you don't miss too many, which is basically if you're committed to something, it's human. Sometimes you might feel lazy, sometimes you don't want to go, sometimes you don't want to do. That's perfectly fine. But make sure there is no time where 3 consecutive times, 3 consecutive days, you don't miss that.
Okay.
If I'm going to say I'm going to be journaling every day, right? If I'm going to miss the first day, that's fine, once. I miss the very next day, that's fine. But make sure it doesn't happen the third time.
Okay.
So nothing should go 3 times consecutively, and trust me, over a period of time that becomes a habit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was new, that not missing three times, in a row is something that I learned today. I didn't know about this. Let me try.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So now, if they have to take home one message, now we talked about mind, body. What is one message that you want them to drive home and be physically fit and also mentally and emotionally fit this year?
But one thing, I think I'll tell you a story what happened.
Okay.
So this is something which I keep hearing, I keep seeing. I've heard my friends do that. Okay. So they come and tell, hey, listen, I'm getting married in 3 months. I want to lose weight. I want to look good. I see on Facebook telling, 3-month goal, marriage goal, to be bride, to be groom. I get frustrated sometimes looking at it. So I was discussing the same thing with my wife in terms of why do people do that, and it's so frustrating. After 3 months, right? And forget after 3 months. Why do you want to do that for your wedding? Why do you want to do that? And my wife is like, it's normal, it's natural. What's a big deal? They want to look their best. And that's where the problem starts for me. Right? Me being me, I don't understand. I want to look good, or I want to be the best on my day. Why can't you be the best every goddamn day?
Yeah.
What harms you? Don't you want to look good every day? You wake up tomorrow morning like you're awesome, and you wake day after tomorrow you're like fantabulous. Why not? Why only for that one day? And that really frustrates me. But when I start thinking about that and I analyze the behavior, it's very clear. What happens is what you can see is what you basically achieve, right? And people are able to see 2 months. They're able to see 3 months. So they know, okay, I'm getting married. Let's say I'm getting married on 18th January, which basically means 7 days before I have a trial. Either my gown, my sari, my blouse, my suit, whatever you're going to wear, you have a trial. So before that, you need to be ready. So they have an end goal. They can see it and they're committed to it because they can see the goal. They can see that I have only 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left. So either they're pushing themselves, they're speaking to the trainer, they're making sure the food is right, the right habits, sleeping well, I groom myself well, I'm keeping my skin clean. Everything is done because that day is big. Now imagine, just remove that and imagine every single day you're going to look that way, right? So you need to start setting smaller goals. So now you rightly said this is 2020, a lot of resolutions happen. What is a resolution? Resolution is basically people saying I will lose weight. But I don't understand what is lose weight. Are you going to lose muscle? Weighing machine doesn't know. Weighing machine say, yeah, you lost weight. But I want to lose muscle? No. What I want to lose is fat. What I want to increase is muscle mass, right? So that's a healthier way of looking at it. So you need to start defining things. You need to have clarity in those kind of things. And I'm sure you would have heard it a lot of times, SMART goals, and make sure you do this, do that. But what I'm telling people when I meet them is very clear. Have a long-term goal, which is awesome. Let's say 365 days, 1 year from now. This is what I want to do in terms of points. Once you did that, forget about that.
Okay.
Forget about that. Divide that into 12.
Okay.
Right? Now each month, if I have to reach each month, what do I do? Now forget about the other 11 months.
Okay.
This is the month. Now if I have to do that every week, what do I do? Forget the month. You have a week. If I have to do this every 7 days, what do? Forget the week. You have 7 days. In 7 days, what do I do? Maybe I have to invest 1 hour. Maybe I have to invest 45 minutes. Make sure I eat well. Just focus that. I wake up this morning, I have to do this. I have to do this. There's only 3 things I need to do. I'm not bothered about tomorrow. I wake up tomorrow, I think what are the other 3 things I need to do. So, and over a period of time, when that year ends or whenever your goal ends, you will be amazed that you actually did it effortlessly because you're not stressing about the big thing. In my previous previous video, I was talking about how to eat an elephant, right? You can eat an elephant, but
Did
if
you
you
eat one?
I'm still eating. I'm still eating. So if you look at an elephant, it's overwhelming that how do I finish it? I can't. I don't have that appetite. Perfectly fine. So imagine you're eating inch by inch, bite by bite, and over a period of time, you actually finish the entire thing, right? So don't look at the goal and feel overwhelmed. Divide that and think about only that one thing or the 2 things that you need to do consistently, and stay with that. So consistency is the word that I would, if you ask me one word, one message, stay consistent.
Okay.
Like previously I said, even if it's 1 day a week, that's fine. In a month you do 4 days, which is awesome. In 2 months you do 8 days, which is even more awesome, right? There is a consistency that is. So whatever you do with consistency.
So this goal setting, that the way you broke it down, I think for people, even if it is not fitness, anything else you want to do it in your life, this is the way most of the goals are set. This is how we set our business goals and all of the goals in life, right?
Correct.
What do we want at the end of the year? What we do every month. So what do you want in a year? Month, week, day, and now. So it's like, rather than just planning and getting into that planning paralysis or analysis paralysis, as they say,
Correct.
just do it now is the message.
That's all you need to think about. What today? If it is one class every hour, forget about the next 12 hours. It's only one class. So it becomes easy. You don't feel that there's so much to do. So consistency, that's big.
This is going to be a big message. So thank you for that. Alright, so Milin, let's talk about fitness trainers and coaches. I'm sure a lot of them are watching this video and you've trained and mentored hundreds of them. So what do you think is the biggest misconception people have about being a coach or a trainer in a fitness industry?
Before getting to the misconception, let me tell you what are the good things happening in this industry. One is that there are a lot of people from other industry who is so keen on coming here. Right? I regularly meet people in the gym, maybe they're working elsewhere, maybe they're IT professionals. They're very keen on how do I get into this industry, because they've been working out, they've been getting results on themselves, losing weight, gaining weight, whatever it is, and now they want to transform or inspire people. Right? That's the beauty of this industry. What happens in this industry is only we change lives to the positive side. People feel good, people look good, the energy is awesome. So that's the good part. But also along with that, what comes is when people like from outside industry, when they want to come in, the biggest myth or the biggest misconception they think is that there's no money in this industry.
Okay.
All right. And to be frank, and being in this industry for the last 17 years and my bread and butter is only from this industry, that's not true.
Okay.
That's the biggest misconception. If you want, money is right there, but it's up to you if you know how to get that money. Do you have that skill? Do you have that knowledge? And do you know exactly how do I work towards that? All you need in that case is either a mentor or somebody who can actually show you this is the path you need to work. If you're not, then obviously that's pretty much in any industry, right? You go to IT industry as well. If you're not performing, if you're not upgrading a certification, what is required for that, you fall off the wagon. It's pretty much what it is in every industry. So there's nothing special about this industry. You can make money, you have made money, I have made money, right? Let me be open. Around 11 years back, this is 11 years back, I used to make around 1 lakh plus. 11 years back. Right? Now there's a choice for me to continue that path, or there was a choice for me to do something of my own. Obviously when you do that, opportunities falls down a little bit, you might make a little bit low money, plus minus, but I'm giving a live example. I have made that kind of a money 11 years back. So money is never a problem. It's up to you. Do you have a skill? Are you the right person? Do you know what to do and how to get that money?
So more than a decade back is where you saying you were able to make 1 lakh rupees per month.
Per month.
And I know, and I'm sure you know, a lot of trainers personally who struggle to make 1 lakh rupees now, because the value of 1 lakh rupees is not the same. So it should be like 10 times easier to make 1 lakh rupees now, but they still struggle.
They still struggle. So that is the biggest misconception. Money is there.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to know how to do that. That's the first thing. The second misconception with people or the fitness professionals or this industry is that there's no enough respect. So if somebody comes and tells me that I don't get enough respect in this industry or in this profession, I think the biggest challenge, the biggest problem is that person.
Okay.
And the reason why that person is the biggest problem is because he himself is not respecting him.
Okay.
Right? If you have to respect me, I need to respect myself first. I need to be confident about myself, my craft, my skill. So that is when you gain respect over me. I cannot ask for it, right? So now how do I get respect from you? Am I being on time? Am I making sure my commitment is met? If I'm going to tell you 3 months is what you need to achieve your goal, am I delivering that results? If there's a rehab, if there's an injury that needs to be taken care of, am I able to do that? All right. Do I have the right backup in terms of my skill and knowledge to actually deliver that results, or am I just telling? Yeah. All these matters in terms of getting respect. I'll tell you something very simple. As a personal trainer, I've been to the gyms. I've been so many gyms across India, even abroad as well. Sometimes it really cringes when I see some trainers just standing there with their hands closed.
Okay.
I'm like, you don't need another pillar for the building. The building is strong enough. What we need there is a human. What we need there is somebody who is there to serve, who is there to help. That's one way of getting respect. I've seen trainers leaning to the machine. What are you showcasing? Are you not strong enough to stand on your own? Right? Those are little things. Are you talking to clients? Are you shaking hands? Are you smiling? Are you making them feel good there? You gain respect. So you get results, you get respect. You interact with human and treat them as human, you get respect. Don't talk to them just because you want personal training. Talk to them because you want to make changes. Talk to them because you want to inspire them. And that's the first reason why you join this industry, right? People tend to forget over a period of time. You need to keep constantly reminding yourself, what is your why? What is your purpose? Why did I come here? If you always remember the first thing when you wake up, start thinking on, why am I here? What is my purpose? Trust me, you will do that consistently every single day. So gaining respect is not a command. Gaining respect is mutual.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes and tells you, I'm not getting respect, change yourself.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So two big misconceptions: no money and no respect. Both are not true.
Okay. This was eye-opener, right? Like, as you said, a lot of people who want to come into this industry and who are already in this industry have this as a problem. So the next thing is, what about the education? What role does education play in doing this?
I think it has everything to do with that. Education or continuous education, is non-negotiable.
Okay.
You cannot be complacent or you cannot be happy with your past laurels or past medals. Okay. You need to be constantly evolving because the industry that we are in is constantly evolving. What's true today is not true tomorrow because there's some other research, some other study that has been done and that has changed. Okay. And let me tell you something very interesting. As a trainer, as a client, the access to the knowledge or access to that article is the same.
Okay.
Right? Now as a client, I know I just need to Google, I just need to YouTube, I just need to email, I just need to Instagram somebody or DM somebody and ask. I get the answers. So if somebody is coming to you and asking you certain things, you need to be well equipped for that. For that, what you need is education. You need education, I think, in different layers. One is interpersonal skill. You need to be upgrading and understanding human behavior, people. So I respect. The second thing is in terms of how do I carry myself? Am I groomed enough?
Okay.
Am I talking the right way? Is my communication good? Okay. The next kind of education that is obviously in terms of how am I upgrading my skill related topics. If I'm a personal trainer, then how do I do my next level of certification? If I'm a group exercise instructor, what is the next kind of a program to it? Or even if it's the same program, how do I coach better? Okay. And everything is it's continuous. So education is big. Let me give you an example of myself. I'm just completed 39 years. Okay. The reason I'm saying that is, and I've been in this industry for the last 17 years. Okay. And the reason I'm saying that is, it is 2019 is where I have invested 15 lakhs of my money into education.
Okay.
Right?
That's huge.
Yeah, because people need to understand it is so important. It is very important. 16 years, why should I invest 15 lakhs, people might ask? Because things have changed. Because I want to be even more better in the next 16 years to come. I need to renew myself. I need to upgrade myself, right? So if you have to do, I don't think there's any other way for me to explain how important education is and continuous education. And when I say education, like I said before, it is not only about certifications and program designing, how to lift weight. No, you need to educate yourself with everything around it as well. If not everything, you need to know something about that topic. So it's very important.
So yeah, this is what was interesting. Now you talked about education and I realized you didn't talk about knowing exercise and nutrition as part of the education. So what do you talk about exercise and nutrition?
In terms of?
So like you said, interpersonal skills, you talked about behavior skills, you talk about grooming skills, you talk about really communication skills. Now this is what I don't see trainers talking about. When I see some trainers, like they want to talk about education, they talk about, okay, this is the exercise program, or this is the exercise certificate, or the exercise equipment certificate, or maybe a nutrition certificate at the max. I don't see trainers talking about this. So how important is exercise and nutrition versus the other things that you talked about?
Both are important. The reason I didn't stress so much on exercise and nutrition is because I think that is basic.
Okay.
If you're a doctor, I'm not going to ask you, have you done your MBBS?
Okay.
If you're a lawyer, I will not ask you if you've done your LLB. If you're going to come and tell me I'm a trainer, I'm a personal trainer, right? There is a mutual respect and trust which happens, and I assume that you have done some certification.
Okay.
You need to be certified. That's your basic qualification. If you're not done a qualification, you're not a trainer, right? You cannot say I worked out for 10 years and I'm a trainer now. Then I'll tell you, on a day-to-day basis, we meet trainers, we meet group exercise instructors, we meet even nutritionists as well for interviews. So some trainers come and tell me I've been working out for 10 years, or I've been a client for 5 years, I love working out, it's my passion, and I've come for interview. I said, that's awesome. So what certifications have you done? Then they're like, no, I've not done certifications, but I've been a bodybuilder, I've won some championship, or I've been working out again. I said, that is not good enough. Then I asked this simple question to them. Now imagine there's somebody whom you love the most, and they're not keeping well. Now you have to run them to the hospital. When you reach the hospital, there's a surgeon who is there only for 5 years, who's been a surgeon only for 5 years, and there's another compounder who is there for the last 25 years at the same hospital.
Okay.
Which means, let's imagine he is seen at least 5 times more doctors. If this guy is 5 years, 25 years is 5 times more. So ideally, he's more qualified. Is that true? I asked them, and they're like, no sir, the surgeon is qualified. I said, precisely. Surgeon is qualified because he's invested his time, he's invested his money, and is super focused on what he's good at, right? So we trust that person's skill. And that's exactly what people come to you. People trust you as a trainer. You have the ability to change their body, to change their mind, and to change and transform their entire life, because it completely changes them. So you have that ability, you have that strength. With bigger strength comes a bigger responsibility. Upgrade, train, come back to me. Everything else is fine, but get your certification, get some basic qualifications. So that's pretty much what I tell them, and that's how I tell them it's very important to get your certificate. So when somebody asks me how do I upgrade, certifications is basic, it's known, but along with the certification, if I'm able to add more value to clients through my soft skills, and that sells. Right? If I'm going to be here, I know A, B, C, D. If I'm going to come here as a robo, I'm going to spit it out, what I know, what I've learned, all the formulas as a design. No, that cannot be done. You'll never be a good trainer. You need to start getting more arms around you.
So this is, I think, one of the most valuable lessons that any fitness trainer or coach who is struggling right now in his career or wants to make a career would get out of this, because exercise and nutrition, or exercise or nutrition based on your area of expertise, you learn, but there are a lot more other things you got to learn in order to be successful.
Very true.
So now the next question is, as you talked about people coming to you asking for a job or asking for some kind of help in their fitness career, what do you look for in a trainer or a coach who comes to you and say, Milin, I want to work with you, or I want help? So what kind of things that you look for?
For me, the biggest thing that I look for is attitude.
Okay.
Because that is a make or break. If it's attitude, when people say attitude, anything is an attitude, right?
Yeah.
If I'm having something, it is an attitude. But is the attitude positive, or is it attitude constructible? Is an attitude that's going to go well with the team? Is an attitude that is what I'm looking, which goes with the culture of what I want to build? I take that kind of a person, because certifications can be done. It can be taught, right? I can refer to somebody who can teach and help them with. So for me, the biggest thing is attitude. If it is going to be with a client, attitude matters a lot. Okay. People say that we are in the service industry, maybe true. People say we are in the fitness industry, maybe true. People say we are in the gym industry. But if you ask my point of view, we are in none of that business. We are in people's business. People is what we cater, right? We don't take care, or we don't do anything with a treadmill. There's an issue with a treadmill, we call the mechanic, he comes and things. What we take care is a person who is on the treadmill. Okay. So you need to have that interpersonal skill. You need to be open to feedback, you need to be open to learning, and all that comes under the category of attitude for me. So attitude is very important. He has to fit as a team player. He should be a go-getter. He should be having the right attitude to learn, understand why this happened, why they said this, be mature enough to act accordingly. So that's attitude.
So let's talk about Milin Mathew and 2020. What is in it 2020 for Milin Mathew?
2020 is going to be the most exciting year of my life for various reasons. Let me start with my work related, which is Triofit. We are launching some really super cool stuff this year. We are revamping a lot of things. We are tweaking and tuning, and really excited about what's going to be coming onto the market. That's in 2020. And also when you look at Triofit, it's 6 years old. And it's gonna be really pretty now because it's like a butterfly coming out. It went through its phases of caterpillar, then it has a moth, and then coming from out of the cocoon. It's the beautiful year 2020 for Triofit. So that's Triofit. I've set goals in different aspects. Like you said, it's a resolution for 2020. What do you do? One of the things that most of us neglect and don't pay attention to is relationship.
Okay.
So I have a goal for this year. I'm sitting with my wife. We're setting up some kind of a goal, which is a relationship goal, the quality time that we spend. Sometimes what happens when we go back home, we do spend time, but is it quality? Maybe not. Are we sitting together and watching TV? Is it quality? Maybe not. Are we on Facebook, Instagram? Is it quality? Maybe not. Same couch, but I'm thinking about work and she's thinking about something else. Quality? No. So those are the things. And like I said, I'm a family guy. I believe in relationships. I want my garden to be beautiful. So this is one thing that really exciting me, because that's something new I'm trying. So that's the relationship goal. Where do we go? How much do we travel? What is that we're going to do which really gets us closer, connects us better? So that is the relationship goal. And along with this, what is also helping us come really close is going to be happening in February. So Feb 2020, I'm going to be a father. All right. So yeah. So naturally, we're going to get more closer as well. So right now, I'm not setting a goal as a father because a baby is not born. I'm going to be all ideal. I'm going to be the best father. I'm going to be the next century's father of the century. No. So I'm going to keep that aside. After he or she is born, let me see if he or she is going to let me sleep in the night. And then I will decide what kind of a father I'm going to be. So that goal is set aside. So that's Triofit, that's my relationship, that's my baby coming in. And something which is really personal, it's really close to my heart, is a personal transformation. All right, so it's 2020, I turned 40, and I want to be the fittest ever in my life. Something like fit at 40. Okay. That kind of a work. So I've already planned it, I've already scheduled it. It's just a matter of starting. So it's like I set the goal, now I've divided that. I'm going to focus one day at a time. So I'm looking at a physical transformation, and that's scary and exciting at the same time because I have a lot at stake. So yeah, so 2020.
Now everybody knows about it.
Now everybody knows about it. So 2020 is exciting. I can feel the goosebumps. It's super cool. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And the good thing, or the things that I could see is, one, even Milin Mathew has a fitness goal or a resolution for 2020.
You always want to get better, right? It's like, it doesn't matter the best version of the machine. There's always point one, there's always point two. So you're always striving at getting better. So for example, in 2019, initially when I started, I set the goal as the year of learning, where I said I've invested in myself for learning. So, but I also understood if I'm not going to keep myself clean and neat, things are not going to work. So second half of the year is when I decided I'm going to detach myself. I'm going to keep away from all the kind of negativity which is in my control. People, places, things, or what I do is going to drain out energy from me, then I stay away from that. So that's 2019, and but 2020 is completely different. It's a year of action.
All right,
yeah.
Good. So good to know. The other thing was very interesting is, like, as you said, there are different goals that you have set. You set business goals, you have set relationship goals, you have set fitness goals. So yeah, good to know about that.
Yeah, I think everybody should be excited about this year. This year is going to be awesome. I have this feeling that this year is going to be really good for everybody.
Okay, so Before we close in, thank you very much for giving your time. And the reason I want to thank you again for your time is I remember thing that you told me about time and money, and I also believe in the same. You can spend money or give somebody money and you can earn it back. But if you give somebody time, you don't get it back. And you've given us a lot of time.
Yeah, and why is that? Because if, like you rightly said, I can earn that money back. I change my strategy, I change my goal, I tweak my business model, I know how to make my money back, right? But what happens with life is you come to this planet with X number of time, 100, 20, 30, 40 years of lifespan you have, and I need to be smart enough, you need to be smart, everybody needs to be smart enough whom they spend their time with. Because I'm going to give you that 1 hour is a piece of my life I give you, I will never get that back. All that has happened is it is reduced from my life balance. Yep. So I need to be clear, everybody needs to be clear, which is also the reason why I started staying away from anything that's negative. Right? I need to be very conscious what I do with my time, and yeah, time is very important. Gone is gone.
All right. So thank you. Learned a lot about fitness, and industry as such. But the life lessons that have come out of this talk are something that I don't think I had expected, or a lot of people watching this show had expected. So thank you for that. Thank you for coming in. And
just to add to that, end of the day, when you say fitness, what is fitness? Fitness is involving everything, right?
Yep.
Is your relationship fit enough? Is your body fit enough? Is your mind fit enough? So I think the biggest mistake that we do is when we say fitness, it's gym, it's food, it's gym, it's eating, it's gym, it's nutrition. No, fitness is everything. It's wellness. It's whole. You need to embrace it completely.
Holistic life.
That's fitness.
Oh, okay. So that's a new definition of fitness for you. Underline, bold, do whatever you want to do with it. Take a print out, stick on your mirror and use it. So that was Milin Mathew for you. We had a wonderful time with Milin Mathew. He shared a lot of life lessons, things about fitness industry and all of these. So thank you once again, Milin.
Thanks, man. Thank you.